Welcome to Charmed Life, a radio show discussing spirituality, magic, and the unconditional love of the universe. Thanks for tuning in. And I am your host, Tricia Carr. Thank you so much for being here with me today. This is a beautiful day for everyone, and at any time that you're watching or listening, it's a beautiful day. Your timing is perfect, however you are joining us, as I say often, and I mean that genuinely from my heart. And to that point, here in a minute, I'm going to share with y'all a message that I received from Spirit this morning for someone who's listening, and I don't know if it's live or if it's in recorded, so keep your ears tuned in because there's someone who needs a word today. But I want to tell you about a couple of things here. I am broadcasting live from the Universal Broadcasting Network studios in Hollywood, California. And if you are, however you're joining us, I would just like to tell you all the other ways that you can join me. Every week, Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Pacific, we are live here. I have expert guests, and we take calls for intuitive readings and advice on spiritual topics. So do join us live. And if you could watch it by going to ubnradio.com, channel 1, or on my Facebook page, and that is facebook.com/Tricia Carr Charm. Or you can also watch it on Periscope and by one of my Twitter profiles, which I have Tricia Carr Charm, and I also have Charmed Life 1111. So that's how you can watch it, and then live, and then you can also catch the archived episodes as the videos are on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Tricia Carr. I'm putting up a lot of other stuff on that channel too. I'm doing at least one other video besides the Charmed Life episode every week, teachings, kind of energetic downloads and adjustments. I just did a couple of those recently. Those are something else. Those are like, I mean, they're spontaneous when they happen, and for me, it's actually very vulnerable sharing them because it's kind of just a pure creative feeling, running whatever energy Spirit is asking for me to run for all of us. So check out my YouTube channel, please. Subscribe, like, share, and comment, because when you do that, you're joining the conversation and you're joining your light to all of our light, and just bringing this beautiful planet of ours into greater ascension of love. And what else? Oh, podcast, of course. This is also archived as podcast in all of the podcast outlets that you can imagine. There's iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, and something else probably ends in another but you can find it, Charmed Life with Tricia Carr. So, and now it's time to welcome my beautiful, amazing, talented guest host today. She is an intuitive medium, and her name is Jessica Potter. Welcome, Jessica.
Hi.
Hi, honey.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for having me, Tricia.
It's such an honor and a pleasure. The other day, I have to tell you how incredibly powerful and connected and talented this young lady is. Was it day before? Was it just yesterday?
Friday night social.
Today is Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Friday. On Friday, so Jessica gave me a reading that was so ridiculously spot on and detailed. It really, when you get reading, it was so helpful to me, Jessica, because it reminds me, as a person who does that, who gives readings, it reminds me how impactful they are. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're just like, really, honestly, we're just pulling things out of the air. And the sitter, as you call it, the person who we're reading for, is the one who knows how detailed it is. But it really gives you this adjustment. It gave me an energetic adjustment. And by the way, if you don't connect with all of the details at that time, hang on to them because they come out later. Just so you know,
Yeah.
if you receive a reading today or just at any time. But the way that she gave me this reading was in a group that I belong to on Facebook, and of which Jessica is a teacher and a moderator, and it's called the Lightworkers Lab. And I've had Lauren Antufermo and Justine Uselding, who are also teachers in the lab. So Jessica, do you mind telling a little bit about the lab in Crystal Lane Compton?
Crystal Ann Compton is an intuitive teacher, coach. She used to do readings, but now she mainly just puts all her energy into teaching and putting together classes for all different intuitives. It doesn't matter your background or what you come from. It's just an open area space that she created for us that we can get together and just really bond with each other, and the struggles that we go through as intuitives and every little thing. She really pulls it all together, and that's one thing I love about. So she started this online community, and it's just kind of taken off from there. We've met some amazing people, have a great group of people right now, and it continues to keep growing.
Yeah, and you have amazing resources there, Jessica, and also Lauren and Justine, and of course Vox. We can't forget Vox Veritatis.
Yeah,
and they do all kinds of development. So for people that, whether you want to be a professional, medium or intuitive, or if you're just developing your own spirituality for your own personal fulfillment. I just can't say enough about this group, about this community, and of course about Crystal, and of course about Jessica.
Thank you. Yeah, we have a great energy there. We try to keep it that way. We try to keep it uplifted and motivate people and really get them, going in whatever direction they want to go, just knowing they have our support in any way they want to use their gifts or work with them.
Yeah. It's also very grounded. And I say that having just become a part of a couple of other Facebook groups, which are lovely as well. But sometimes they're so, they don't have that grounded component of, hey, guess what? We're also living here in the 3D realm and having families and experiences with humans. And, rather, which is, it's fine if you express yourself just up in that stratosphere. But I don't know, there's something very supportive about having the grounded element, and it certainly speaks to me. And what I mean by grounded is that, we talk about all of these spiritual concepts and everything, but we're here in the physical body. So if in my opinion, if we can't bring it down into the physical experience, then it's not that helpful because we are here right now.
Exactly.
Well, actually, Jessica, why don't you now tell us a bit about your journey and your work? Tell people about Jessica now that we've told them about the Lightworkers Lab.
Well, I'm a natural born medium. I actually didn't even realize that that's what was going on until probably about 2 years ago. I always thought it was just, weird things I would pick up on or weird coincidences that happened to me, weird experiences, things like that. And then it wasn't until I started putting it together that this is what's happening. And that's when I really started exploring, and I prayed for a good teacher. And within a couple weeks, Crystal Ann Compton, I got her YouTube videos just popped up as a little advertisement thing. And I was up all night watching them. And I was like, oh, she gets it. This lady gets it. And so now this is what I like to do is help other intuitives really learn their gifts and understand more of how it works. And I've also always felt drawn to missing persons cases. I've gotten to volunteer and help a lot with those. But I would say my passion is all of it. Just any way it can help bring healing and help bring more enlightenment to people's lives and happiness to people's lives. And that's the best feeling, is letting others learn their gifts and learn their power and really feel that love, feel that they're not alone, they're not crazy, they're, that this is just a part of who they are. And once you understand that, it's very empowering.
Right. Yes, it is. And Jessica, you have, you do private investigation as well, right? And you use your intuitive, obviously you can it's so funny. I have another friend who is a PI who's also a psychic, and she uses, and isn't that interesting? I mean, I don't know if that's completely intentional, but it certainly makes a lot of sense that someone who is, gifted and doing that kind of work is because they're intuitive.
Yeah, for me, it was definitely intentional. I ran a beauty business for about 8 years, and the money was good and everything was flowing, but I felt like I was meant to do more. And so we ended up, me and my husband, volunteering for a missing person case in our town. And I just knew, I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is how I'm supposed to be helping people. And that was before I even understood my intuition or my gifts fully. And so once I learned to pair those two together, I'm like, I want to be a PI. I want to help missing persons cases. So I've tried to mainly just take cases like that and focus my energy on those type of cases.
Wow.
But so me, it was definitely intentional.
That's really cool. Well, we did entitle this episode Coming Out of the Spiritual Closet because you may have noticed, it whizzed right by, but Jessica is incredibly successful and just flowing with her gifts in all different kinds of ways. And it's only been about 2 years since you opened up to it consciously, to understanding it the way that you do specifically.
I think it's only been about a year,
Oh,
a little over a year that I've had my website and that I've been actively getting out there and doing readings. Before that, it was like by email or just friends here and there, little things like that. But yeah, so it's just been about a year and gosh, it's just taken off. Like Spirit has more than met me halfway and helped me on this path and coming out to my family and everything. It's been great.
and I say that to just help us all to realize that time is an illusion. And one way or the other, if you are moving gradually into your enlightenment path or your ascension or awakening, or you're opening up to certain abilities in a way, the time is like I say, an illusion. So if you have a desire and you have a pull that you want to be working in it in a kind of very full way like Jessica is, then there's no that whole thing about having to go to college and 12 years and 14 years and 18 years of school is something that we created here on the earth plane for us. But when we're talking in spirit, you have the connection to infinite intelligence, so you can just download and make that connection right away and just start moving because it's your reality. You're just remembering, you're just opening up. So just so you know. And then also, if you like to take your time and just savor each little step, that's beautiful too. So sometimes we do either way, like I'm not moving fast enough, and we put that pressure on ourselves, or we doubt ourselves when we are making grand steps and having almost quantum leaps. We doubt ourselves, like this can't be possible. But and any way that it works for you is exactly how it's supposed to work for you. So relax and try to release the time element.
Yes, definitely, because I think sometimes Spirit has bigger plans for us than we do ourselves.
Yes.
I never would have saw me falling into a teacher position, and that one completely caught me off guard, but I love it. Like there's so much I learned from it and so much that I get to help others with, and that makes it really come together. And just the way I was brought up with a traditional family, very conservative family, and just the way that they have openly accepted it and understood it is kind of been mind blowing too in itself. But so things end up working out if you just learn to trust it and learn to just trust Spirit and just go with it. And sometimes it can be scary, but I think the best gains in life sometimes come from the scariest thing.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. By the way, we are taking calls 323-524-2599 if you would like to ask a question or get a reading. We are here for you. But that is what we entitled this, Coming Out of the Spiritual Closet. That's what we entitled this episode, because myself as well, I haven't been doing this in this specific conscious way for very long either, about 2.5 years, I think it's been. And just like Jessica, always actually was connected. It's just sort of I didn't have a worldview that included a lot of this stuff yet because of social conditioning, because of church conditioning. So I just had to release those things. And then there it was, all of that stuff. But same thing, I when I was younger and in the church, and I would have experiences, and I always had to like rationalize them to fit into my worldview, my paradigm that I had been given. And so it was always just like, oh, that must have just been Jesus, I'm not saying it wasn't, it was, but yeah. That was the only door that was open for me.
Yeah.
So
I can completely relate to that because I was brought up in the church bowl, and it was the same type of thing. Trying to wrap your head around, why am I getting this? Why am I picking up on this? And what does that mean? Like, who is that from?
Mm-hmm.
And then there was times where I just knew without a doubt, like when I was 13, my uncle passed away. I clearly heard him in my head, his voice and everything. Wow. And so there was no doubting that one, but trying to make sense of it and then trying to tell your family members, and you don't know how it's going to be received because we're all brought up in the church. And that part was really hard and confusing to go through. But it's true. Once you learn to let that go and just allow things to be and know your heart, know your place, know like where you are with God, you don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Like you just have to do what comes to you, and you'll get the prompts and know when it's time to say something or help someone and things like that.
Yeah, I feel like for me, part of the reason that I didn't open up to it in that particular way was because I had to let go of a lot of fears first. And some of those fears, they're imposed from the outside, from how we are conditioned. And those fears look like, to me, or they always sounded like, you're weak and you're going to make a big mistake and you're going to accidentally go crazy or something bad's going to happen to you. And I don't mean just in the spirit realm, you know what I mean? Like about in the spiritual realm. I mean about everything in life. Something bad will happen to you because you are very weak and you're going to slip up and then it's just going to be a catastrophe. And that's not true. You always know where love is. Everyone does. That's what you're saying. Like, you know where you are with God. Know where God is love. So if you're sensitive, you're here for any reason, it's because you know 100% you've never forgotten and you've never mistaken where love actually is. And I actually believe that about every person. But you know what I mean? Like coming in extra sensitive, you're extra sensitive to all energies and all emotions. And the grandest one of all is love. So you're never going to lose place of that. And that's all you have to do is just be confident and centered in that. It's actually really easy, right? It's
weird. Yeah. Once it clicks, you're like, oh man, like why hadn't I been doing this all along?
Yeah.
Because I used to think I was really weak because I was so emotional. I would always cry easily. Like I remember my sister teased me because I cried in Finding Nemo. Like, and my sister's not one to cry, so she never got it. She's like, that's weird. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. But with church services, things like that, I would just always cry really easily. So I always felt weak because I was so emotional and I didn't understand why things would get to me so easily, but not other people, and why I was feeling so much. So when you really gain that understanding and really learn about it, then you almost get a better control of it because you're more okay with it. Where I think when you're fighting it and having this eternal battle go on, it seems to make things worse.
Right.
So getting in that spirit, or just letting it flow, and it seems to just be better managed, I guess, in a way. So you understand it. You can know where you're picking it up from, if it's not yours, and if it's someone else's, and what's going on there. So that really helps a lot too.
Absolutely. I mean, we have to be good stewards of our spiritual bodies. We have to have good spiritual hygiene in the same way that we have to have good physical hygiene. It's really no different. If you didn't have any idea that, walking through a swamp every single day with all the bacteria was bad for you, then then you would get sick all the time. And so you just have to gain that awareness. And the reason that you walking in the swamp is because you were encouraged to by someone else, and not because you would do that naturally. But again, it's all about undoing conditioning. And but yeah, it's powerful. That's the door through which I opened up to my these other things, like the abilities of mediumship and whatnot, and animal communication, is by learning that I was an empath, and learning then in the process of just trying to be a healthy empath. I talk a lot about another teacher who was the first person that I worked with when I opened up to being an empath, when I understood that. Her name is Caroline van Kumenad, but you can find our website is The Happy Sensitive, and she does courses for highly sensitive people and empaths. And I mention her because her little tagline is the most perfect summation of what we're talking about here, and that is, she says she teaches people how to go from a suffering sponge to a sensitive savant. And isn't that great?
Yeah, I think I need to take that.
I think you're already there. But she's great. Yeah, she's fantastic. Very, very, again, very grounded, kind of teaching, and very practical. Oh, thanks for Jarvis is putting up her website here in a sec. So let's see what I wanted to also ask you about. By the way, again, 323-524-2599. But Jessica, we get calls like about halfway through, and then we'll start to take one, and then we get like 97 right when we're about to end the show. And I'm like, people, call earlier. They're just trying to get to know you. There are two things I wanted to tell you. First of all, Jessica, I just have this hit. Do you know about your unicorn guide?
No, but I've heard like people get unicorn all the time. And then I figure with my hair, like that Starbucks unicorn frappuccino, I can't even tell you how many times I got sent that and tagged in that.
Really? That's so funny.
Yeah.
I actually got the hit on it a while ago, and then this morning I was like, "Tell her about it. Tell her about it." I mean, I was hearing "Tell her about it." Yes, you have a unicorn guide. We have a call, but you have a unicorn guide. I have one as well. I mean, I think a lot of us do, but you have a unicorn guide, and she would really love to have some conscious kind of connection with you. I feel her as a female energy, but I also have some guides that are more androgynous, and sometimes they're male and sometimes they're female feeling. But she feels pretty female to me. And what's interesting, my unicorn is white. And I think most unicorns are, but yours is kind of iridescent is how she shows up to me. But like gold with golden in it. You usually think of iridescence as that opal kind of white, purple, blue color, but she's got this gold kind of iridescence to her is what I'm seeing her as. So
Oh, that is cool. I'll explore that more. I hadn't heard of that, so that's really neat.
that's what she's like. That's what she's coming through to me anyway. Well, we do have a call. Would you like to take a call, Jessica?
Yeah.
Awesome. Hello, you're on the air. Who's this?
Ileska.
What? Say it again. I'm sorry.
Ileska.
Ileska.
Yes.
Hi. How are you today?
I'm well. I was just listening in.
Well, what's on your mind? Do you want to? Are you interested in having a reading, or do you have a question?
A reading. Just anything general, really.
Okay. Jessica, do you have anything you're picking up for Ileska?
Okay. Aliska is how you say it?
Yes.
Jessica's just tuning in here, so y'all just bear with us for 1 sec.
Okay.
I'm feeling like it's really been a rough time lately. It's really been a rough year. I'm definitely getting something with the chest, so I'm not sure if you have anxiety.
I just wrote down heartache, so I'm getting that
Yeah,
as well.
It feels like a lot of emotions, and it's kind of been a slippery slope. It's like you've been really fighting depression lately and anxiety.
Yes. Yes. It's just a lot been going on with everything, like work, relationships, just a lot.
And you just got out of a relationship, I'm guessing. I'm feeling too where you're feeling like very alone. I feel like you have people around you to support you, but you're so busy trying to handle this on your own and process things that you've just been through that you've kind of pulled back and cut yourself off from them a little bit. But there was something broken with trust that has kind of made you push other people out right now. Is that making sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot. Makes a lot of sense. It's just kind of like people try to talk to you, but then it's kind of like you don't know if they're coming from a good spot or not.
I'm feeling like this recent relationship really did a lot of damage to your mind, not just with broken trust, but it feels like it may even been a form of verbal abuse where they were just beating you down and kind of breaking you down as a person for picking on little things about you and things that you didn't quite notice about yourself. So you've kind of gotten in this pattern where you're paying attention to these things, but you don't need to. Like, I think you forgot what a beautiful person you are and what a bright light you used to have. And this person, there was just something with control. They really enjoyed taking control, and really that was their way of getting the control, was kind of breaking you down. And so I think it's good that it's ended. And I feel like you can heal and move on from there. You just got to find a way to reconnect with yourself again and remember all the great things about you. But I do feel like getting out is really going to help, and getting back to friends, because this trust being broken down, it's almost like he planted seeds in your head, and you're reevaluating all the relationships around you, even the friendships, good friendships that you know you can trust, and good family members. He has planted something in your head that makes you, he kind of isolated you. And so I think if you get back out and reconnect with those people, it's going to open up that door again, and you're going to start feeling a lot better, because I am feeling a lot in the chest. And I wouldn't be surprised if you've had a lot of sinus infections and things like this going on, just from the energy you're carrying from this and the sadness.
I feel like, Aliska, one thing that I'm getting that would be very helpful, I love Jessica's advice to get back with some friends, the people who love you and do see your light and believe in you. You know who they are. I can feel like there are some that maybe they're even, you've been cut off from them for a while, but just the ones who you just have fun with and you laugh, and so you can feel that flow of joy again. And really bringing it back to the simple, like things like that, finding a way to laugh with some friends that are more positive and you just have fun with, but also self-care. Being able to block out all of the noise of the past and the world around you and work and all of that stuff, and do all kinds of little things or big things that are self-care. So you could take some baths, get your hair done, do some things like that that are just, and when you do that, not just because it feels good, but just give it to yourself as a gift and receive it. I can even feel like right now that would be so powerful for you that you would almost like cry, because the distrust and the abuse and everything, what it did was it made you not trust yourself anymore. So you can mend that relationship with yourself by just giving yourself these precious, gifts, just this generosity, just doting on yourself in ways that they don't even have to be expensive and they don't have to be time consuming. But if you spend money or take a lot of time, that's okay as well. There's all kinds of, I just feel like if you could even give yourself a 30-day challenge to do something really romantic, even for yourself, to yourself. Does that make some sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Good.
Yeah, get back out there and get back to feeling good and sexy and
and you don't have to
get you back. Yeah,
you don't have to. You can stop thinking about all of and trying to figure it out what happened. Just shut the door. It'll figure itself out, but you need to get that high vibration, that self-healing flowing, and it'll figure itself out someday. But you don't have to worry about it. It'll just do it on its own. So close that door. And don't worry about like your mind having to be engaged in it. Like, why did that happen? Where did it happen? And trying to undo it. You don't have to solve that puzzle. It just solves itself.
Yeah. And I completely agree with that. I feel like you need to cut ties, and every time you catch your mind going there, immediately replace it with positive thoughts and be like, that is the past. I am done. I'm taking my lesson, learn from it. And I've come out of an abusive relationship myself. And it does a lot with your mind. It is hard to pick yourself back up again and to feel good about yourself again and love yourself again. It takes some time, but when you do, you see how strong you were the entire time. Mm-hmm. And you also have a whole new outlook on life. So hang in there, because you are not alone. And I can feel how hard this has been for you. And this is his problem. This is completely their problem. And I think you need to realize that there's nothing you did that made you deserve this or anything like that. So
you didn't make any.
You're gonna be good.
You didn't make any mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay.
All right, sweetheart.
So much better.
Oh, good.
Yay.
Thank you. Good. We'll call back another time and give us an update. Thank you so much for calling in. You're so beautiful.
Yeah, thank you, hon.
Such a beautiful heart.
Thank you.
Nice.
You have a good day.
You too.
You too.
So it's interesting because I told you at the beginning of the show that there was a word that I got from Spirit for somebody out there. And I think it could partly be for Aliska. But I think there's someone else. Well, you know how it is. Spirit always organizes the messages to help us all. Yep. Whoever is listening, live or in some recording. But there's something very specific that Spirit asked me to communicate some support to someone who is actually having some kind of relationship where there's physical abuse. And it actually feels like it could be either way, or there may be more than one person. So there's a person who is being physically abused, and there is a person who feels like they cannot stop some kind of physical abuse that they're actually that's tough, but that they're the aggressor. I feel like actually there's both of these, and maybe it's one person who is kind of having in the fighting back. It's become aggressive. I'm not really sure. It's not really for me to know. But if you are listening live and you want to call in, you can call in, and you don't have to divulge that either. You can just be with us and just connect with us in any way. But if you're listening as a recording, this is for you. If this is resonating with you, this is for you. And just basically the message from Spirit is that you are more powerful than you realize at this moment, and that you are not a victim of this. You truly aren't. This is just a point of orientation. It's like you turned on a movie and you just need to turn the movie off. It's that simple. That is the truth, because that's how powerful you are, because you are here as a point of light here in the world. Your consciousness is alive. Your light is alive. And it is actually not as challenging or as troubling as you are believing right now. And it's very, very painful. This is not to discount the pain that you're experiencing, but just to give you the power that's the greater reality, that is much greater than the pain that you're experiencing. So just much support and much encouragement and so much love. And you're allowed to receive this message, whoever you are, because it's going to feel weird that it's resonating with you. You're allowed to receive it. So I just want to leave that. And I say it's
sending my love and empowerment to them as well, because sometimes it is really hard, and we keep ourselves in those situations because it's so hard to adapt to change. Sometimes we don't see options there. Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, great. Well, moving on. Do we have another caller right now, Jarvis? Okay, cool. I say not welcome. Please do call in. But there was some stuff I wanted to ask Jessica. I wanted to talk about something that you teach a lot in the lab, and something that you're really, I think, excellent at. And part of the reason, by the way, so it's symbols. I want you to talk about symbols and how I got that message. By the way, for whoever that was, you were actually talking about this in the readings that you did the other day. You got a song. And as a premonition.
That happens to me a lot. They use songs to communicate with me. I'm laughing because I started getting things out of you before we got on the show.
Oh, yeah.
And then when I got that caller, I'm like, okay, so this is the way they're going to lead. And then you happen to get that message. So it just makes me laugh sometimes, the way Spirit works, and the things start dropping in your environment, and that's kind of how symbols is. That's how I really started my language with them. With the other side is song lyrics and, things like that. Weird things that would happen, weird things that people say that just kind of stand out to you.
They just pop out, yeah.
Yeah. Once you really start putting them together, you can start kind of building a language with them. Mm-hmm. So I've gotten a few times, I've had clients of mine or family members of clients of mine that were struggling with suicide. And I had this song in my playlist, my car playlist, that talks about suicide. And so when I was preparing my room the other day to do readings, I turned on my meditation music, and then I started saging my room and preparing for the readings. But it switched playlists on my phone on its own and went to the suicide song. So I was like, that's weird. I've never known it to do that, like switch playlists. So I turned it off, and then fresh into the reading right off the bat, I kept hearing suicide. And the first person I connected with, her mother had passed that way, sadly. So, I think they do it a lot, and that's Spirit's way of communicating with us. And once you start building that language, it keeps going, and it gets easier for them to get their messages across to us.
Yeah. And then in that session, there was another person who was asking about a friend who had also passed via suicide.
Yeah, and when I remember when I got to him, I thought,
"There's no way you heard it."
Like
you're like doubting it.
Like a suicide too. So I had to scroll up and reread his question to see if he had even mentioned about his friend passing by suicide. Mm-hmm. And then when I read it and saw that he didn't mention it, I was like, "Wait, did your friend pass by suicide?" And suicide is such a sensitive subject, and it was so hard, but I think it ended up coming across well. And with those type of things, I just pray, like, Spirit, give me the right words to say, the right way to convey the messages. But, they ended up both being really great messages, but sometimes I think they just do that.
It was so healing for both of them. I heard both of them. Well, I actually got a song this morning that talked to me about abuse. I get song lyrics all the time too, and I can always tell. I think I just posted. No, I'm going to post a video next week where I was led into some really cool experience, some new sort of opening of I don't know, a spiritual ability. I'm going to let y'all watch it on YouTube. But one of the ways that it was opened up to me was by a song that I hadn't. There's always cues to me, like, I haven't heard this song. So that's always a big ding. Second of all, I don't like this song is sometimes a ding because, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, I mean, not like I hate it, but, I don't know it that well, or it's not one of my favorite songs. If it's like a favorite song, sometimes they cycle in and stuff like that. Not to say that if a favorite song comes in that it's not also giving you a message, but it's in the lyrics that you don't. The thing to do is to go and look up all the lyrics, because the hook of the song may be just something simple that's not really communicating to you, but there might be something in the third verse or something like that, or in the bridge, So the song this morning that showed up in my head and wouldn't go away, and I haven't heard in a billion years, is from the 90s. So you're too young, you may not even know it. Jessica.
I remember 90s.
There's this song called My Name is Luca. You know this song, My Name is Luca. I
would have
on the second floor.
Once I hear it, I bet you I would know what it is.
Well, it's about abuse. And so Luca is saying, my name is Luca, I live on the second floor, and if you hear something late at night, some kind of trouble, some kind of fight, just don't ask me what it was. So it's about, it seems like it's a kid. I can't remember if it tells you in the song that it's a child that's abused. And so it just was going in my head, and it's not, again, I haven't heard it in forever. And so I was like, okay, what is this? What is this? And then I was like, oh, okay. And then I understood there was someone who needed some support of abuse. And then, of course, having you on the show, and you just had we had that reading session that I was a part of. And you started off by saying, I got this cue from a song. So I'm telling the whole story, because for the person that this support is for, I just want you to know how much you're supported, because I got a song, Jessica got a message about abuse
last night through today. It started last night. I started getting it dropping in my environment, weird situations happening, and then today watching a police show. It was like physical abuse.
Yeah.
So that's so weird how that happens.
That's how loved we are. That's how supported we are. Oh, goodness, it's really cool. So anyway, back to symbols. What's really cool too is that even if it's something that is practical too, because if you build with just yourself, like, okay, when I notice butterflies, I know that it's time for me to remember to connect to freedom or something like that. It's something that you can train your brain to, besides actually as a way to communicate with spirit or something. You can actually train your brain to give yourself affirmations and encouragement and different things that you recognize, these kinds of symbols. Have you thought about it that way before, Jessica? I know you use it for intuitive readings.
I definitely started catching on that, like, when I'm going through certain things, 'cause, I mean, like, I'm an empath, so I pick up on emotions. My moods are up and down, and depending on who I'm around or what my friend's going through, family member, I feel that. So once I started catching the patterns and synchronicities of, like, I'm seeing this a lot when, I'm helping someone go through this, or when I'm feeling this type of way, that really helps putting symbols on it. And for me, I'm not good with words, but numbers. I've always been really good with numbers, really into counting. That was one of my favorite parts about my beauty business, where most people are like, oh, I don't want to do numbers. I'm like, I do. So I actually created codes with numbers. Oh, cool. And they told me 43 for I love you, or we love you. And then a few weeks later, I'm watching a television show, and it was some guy who was born in 1950s. He talked about in school back in the day, they would write 143 on a piece of paper, and that stood for I love you.
Yeah.
I guess it's something about
that's the number of letters in the phrase. So 1 for I, 4 for love. So if yours is 43, because like you said, it's either I love you or we love you. You just left off the pronoun part so that it could be.
And I had never heard that before. So I'm like, okay, that's my number. And they use it all the time. When I'm in readings, it's so cool. I'll just see that number float to me when I'm communicating with the spirit. So I'll know that that's what they're trying to convey.
Yeah.
On top of, because I think they only have so much energy they can hold that connection with us,
Right.
and so much time. We have so much time that they can drop in those messages. So the faster they can do it and build on top of it, the smoother it goes.
Yeah, that's great. And we're really fueled by being able by deepening the connection when we get validation. You know what I mean? Like when we say, okay, they want to communicate this, and then the person engages more. And that helps us to really open up the channel and bring everyone's light into it, include, everyone who's involved. Like the more that our hearts open and the more love we bring into it, the more powerful the connection is.
I just ask that everyone pay attention to it more. If you're going through a hard time or you're missing a loved one, whether it's you're intuitive or not, I believe everyone is intuitive, but some people don't pay attention to it and some people do. But if you're going through a hard time or really missing a loved one, ask for these signs. And when a song comes on that reminds you of them, or you start seeing certain coincidences, just know that is them communicating. Because like 99% of the time that I have those things happening, it's for spirits coming through, getting ready for readings I have.
We have another call. Would you like to take a call with us?
Yeah.
Jess? Okay, great. Hi there. You're on the air. Who's this?
Hello.
Hello.
My name's Natalie.
Hi, Natalie. What's going on?
Nothing. I just tuned in, and I was just wondering if you had a message for me about moving. You see a move in my future?
Okay, great. Jessica's tuning in, I think. She's going to take just a sec here.
Are you feeling a little cramped? Like it feels like you're wanting more space, and like the house or area that you're in now feels more narrow, and it's like you're wanting a more open layout. That makes sense?
Correct.
Like a wider. Okay, I'm getting that it's still going to be a little bit. I'm feeling right about 3 months.
Oh, shit. Okay, I'm sorry. I said shit, but look what I wrote down. I wrote down 3 months.
High five.
I wrote down 3 months, y'all.
It's so funny how that happened.
Can you read my book? Can you see it?
Me? No, it's just white.
Okay, well, Jarvis is attesting to it, saying 3 months.
Okay.
Sorry, that was
so by the end of summer.
I feel like it could be. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be like, opening the house and you're walking into your new place, but that's when things are going to really be in motion, is what it feels like to me. Is that what it feels like to you, Jess?
Yeah, yeah. Like this place feels at home. I wouldn't be surprised it has like a front porch. I keep getting shown a front porch. There might even be where you can hang one of those benches, like rocking benches or something. But it feels like this place feels good to you. So I think you're just going to have a draw to it. So I'd say like don't rush into anything. There's going to be a couple different things coming along. So don't be like, oh, I think this is great, until you've like really looked at everything. And there's something about visiting the place. I think this one you'll find it online or something like that. And it's not too appealing, but as soon as you get there to the location and the feel of it and the feel of the house, you're going to be like, this is it. This is it. So there's going to be the connection happens when you walk it.
And you're kind of going back and forth about.
So we plan on traveling around.
Go ahead, honey.
We plan on traveling around, just checking out areas until we find something we like.
Yeah.
So that kind of was our plan this summer.
You've got a little push and pull. Oh, good. Well, then the timing that we're hearing is making sense. You've got a little push and pull internally that you're kind of working out about being able to leave. Like you kind of go back and forth. Like maybe this is fine, and maybe I should just quit being, fussy. Or oh no, I really, really, really want to. So you're kind of pushing and pulling both ways, and so you're gonna in this. Right. You're gonna.
There's reasons to stay and there's reasons to go.
Yeah, and so you're gonna cool down, and it's just gonna start to. It's like a pendulum swinging. So it's swinging really hard right now, and then you're going to get right here, and that's going to give you focus and clarity and peace to be able to do it. You know what I mean? And it's going to be like, oh, whatever, it's fine. One way, you know what I mean? Like it's not that big of a challenge, but that real pull, that's okay. You're just exploring, your inner worlds and stuff. And I know it's uncomfortable to have that kind of dynamic energy going back and forth right now, but it'll start to even out here as you're doing this exercise of looking for stuff. Yeah.
I really feel
right.
like the
Mostly
pros.
my son, I have to move him so much, and I'm like, I need to really find something consistent for him
Oh,
because
that's
he's
part of
going
it.
into high school, and I keep moving every year.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's
I need to
working out.
really find something and lock in.
Yeah, that's the thing about whether there was something about like deserving or being able to or giving yourself permission to move. So yeah, you're gonna work. It's gonna work out just fine. Just relax and know that you aren't making. This is the theme of the day too. You're not making any mistakes. You're really you know that your intentions are loving, and so love is always going to work. All right.
Oh,
Well,
great. That's
yeah,
been so great.
we'll check
Thank
back in with
you.
us. Call back another time. Thank you for calling, Natalie, and good luck with it all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Do we have
Bye.
time to take another call, Jarvis? Okay, we have another call. How much time do we have? Because I want to make sure I get a good bumper. We got 5? Okay, cool. So we'll take one more call, Jessica.
Okay.
All right, great.
Sounds good.
Hi there, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hello?
Hi, who is this?
Hi, this is Christine.
Cassine, beautiful name. What's going on today?
Oh, I've been listening to your podcast, and I got a notification that you were doing it right now, so I thought, why not call in?
Oh, thank you.
I just love listening to you. You're so positive and enlightening. I just love listening.
Oh, thank you. That's lovely. You are too, actually. As soon as you said hello, I was like, ooh, she feels good.
I feel the same way about you.
Oh, where do you live? Where do you live,
I
Cassine?
live in upstate New York.
Oh, okay. I was going to say sometime if I do a live event, you'll have to come so we can meet each other because we're in love.
Oh my gosh, I would love that. I would love that.
Well, did you have a question?
So
Yeah, go ahead.
I do. I just have a question in general about my career. I kind of feel like I'm at a crossroads now, but I'm not sure if it's time for me to make a big move or not. There's a lot of things changing in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I just didn't know if there was something that jumped out at you that, might help me make a good decision.
Okay. Jessica, are you?
I'm starting to get a few things. So.
Yeah, me too. So I'm writing them down. You can go.
I keep seeing a dog. I can't tell, but I keep seeing a dog out of the corner of my eye. I can't tell if it's one of my previous ones. It's so funny. Like I get with you. Normally I get spirits, but now I'm like getting a dog. So I'm not sure if it's related to the color, but I've seen it 3 times now. Bigger dog.
I'm seeing a brown lab. Is that what you're seeing?
It's so fast.
I have
What do you have, Cassine?
I have a black lab.
A black lab?
I have a black lab.
Oh, that's probably him then. Is it a boy?
No, she's a girl.
A girl
but
dog?
she has a boy's name.
Oh, okay. What's her name?
Her name is Fenway.
Fenway? Oh, that's cute. Oh, what is she, about 4 or 5?
Yep, she's about, oh goodness. Yeah, she's actually about 6 years old now.
Okay. But she's very spirited. She's very peppy and very very active, and she's a mama's girl. Yeah?
Yeah.
Oops, her
Are
connection.
we breaking?
Yeah, I don't think it's Jessica. I think it's
Oh, did we
Cassine.
lose her?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay. It's just coming in and out.
Still
a little
I'm still
bit.
here, but can you hear now?
It's going in and out. Well, we're close to the end of the show, so let's give. Fenway is just showing up to tell you how much she loves you and supports you, and she's going to be taking. I'm not sure. I think we may have lost her, so she'll listen back.
Oh, I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm still here
Okay.
if you can hear me.
Can I
Okay,
ask
great.
a question while I have you? Do you know a male that passed by a stroke?
Who passed by a stroke? What was the question?
I'm feeling a male that passed by a stroke.
Oh goodness,
There's a
I
male
just
in-
get shivers. My father-in-law, we just lost him this past fall, and it had something to do with that. Yes.
Okay, it felt like a fatherly figure. He's
Yes.
so he's actually here. He's showing up and saying hi. He's around you, supporting you. He has a lot of love and
Oh, my
appreciation for you. Everything that you do for your husband, but he's kind of fed up with your work situation. He said it's a kind of very stressful, toxic environment. You can either choose to stay with it and push through, and he does see it getting like it will get better, or something about whoever's managing things right now they're just really hammering you, like putting a lot of pressure on you. And but they're trying to do it from a good place, but it's a lot to take. And so he's really worried about you there, but he's saying just kind of stand your ground and let your heart shine, and whatever you do, he'll support you. But I do see it getting better if you ride out the work situation a little bit longer. I'm feeling if you pulled out and went a different direction, you would almost be having to start at the bottom again. You've worked very hard to get where you are. And so he's kind of saying, just tough out the storm. But he's also showing me an animal, I think a cat. It looks like a cat. It was starting to come in and then it faded out really fast. But yeah, he's around often. You're saying you're a strong woman. You are a strong woman.
You are, and you have this great ability in work to facilitate and to motivate, and you have really good leadership skills. And right now, it feels like they're not being expressed. But just be in touch with those for yourself. They're not dormant and they're not gone, and they exist. So just be in touch with those, and that just placing your awareness there is really going to help you to change the work situation while you're in this one still, and seeing it through as your father-in-law is recommending. And then as you eventually do, at some point you are going to be growing out of this place that you are now. But just keep focusing on the abilities and the passion and the skill and the talents that you know you have. Just place your awareness there, and then they're just going to grow. And you don't have to worry about all of the mess. The mess will be there, but the best way to shine through the mess is to shine your lights and your talents. Just to keep focusing on those and believe in those.
You're a very talented person.
Yeah.
Don't walk away yet. It's not time yet. There's still something to learn there, but you are very talented.
Yeah, a sort of strength to gain. Cassine, thank you so much for calling in. We just have a couple minutes left, but thank you. Please do call in again. I would love to hear how things are going.
I certainly will. Thank you, ladies, so much. You moved me, and you brought me to tears.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
I mean, sorry. Good. Sorry. Whatever.
All right. Enjoy this beautiful day. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Oh, how beautiful. Well, we do have just a couple minutes left. So, Jessica, I would love for you to tell people how they can get in touch with you, because we do have it up on the video, but I didn't mention your website yet in the audio. And if you have any parting words, because we've been talking about being able to come out of the spiritual closet, embrace yourself as the beautiful being that you are. Any last words for that? So, yeah, start with where they can reach you.
My advice for coming out of the closet, I mean, obviously I'd say go for it because I'm so much happier. I'm so much more fulfilled as a person. And I think you have that waiting for you too. The acceptance, it slowly happens with people, that if you just are respectful of people's beliefs and you show them you're the same person, you're the same heart, you're here to help people and do things for God and for good, not scam people or anything like that, you're going to be well received. Just showing them that you're the same person, you just have a little bit extra that you haven't been openly talking about. But once you do, it's amazing, like being able to openly talk about things that happen to you and stuff like that. But pace yourself, go with it, what you're comfortable with. Don't feel like you have to rush and tell everyone at the same time. If you slowly want to do it, and I know some people don't even use their real name, whatever you want to do to explore that, just set your own pace and don't feel like you're in any rush.
Yeah, the people who love you want to see you as you really are. And how can people get in touch with you, Jessica? Tell everyone.
You can get in touch with me. My website is starloveclarity.com, or also intuitivemediumjessicapotter.com. And also on there, sorry, I got a little tongue-tied. On there, I have information about the Lightworkers Lab. Now, we're working on building up the bigger site where we're going to be dropping courses, but it's a really amazing thing where we're hopping on there weekly and teaching. Everyone has a different day. We're doing free readings, and it's just really safe community where you can get in and learn about yourself and really explore and have a great support system, support team. So if you're looking to learn more about the Lightworkers Lab, also contact me there. Also, my Facebook page, I think we'll share that later. Any way I can help you, I'm more than happy to help.
Well, thank you again, Jessica Potter, Intuitive Medium, for being on Charmed Live today. What a beautiful show. Thank you, everyone who listened in all space and time. Please do come back again next Sunday or join us on the next show or on my website or on my YouTube page. Thank you for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are.